Mislike me not for my complexion.
Ira Aldridge was born to Reverend Daniel and Lorana Aldridge in New York on the 24th of July, 1807. He later attended the African Free School in New York City. The school's main purpose was to create a Negro intelligentsia and was later to play an active role in the abolitionist movement. His father intended him for the church, but after working backstage at the Covent Garden Theatre, he was so smitten by his experiences that he aspired to become a professional actor. He was 17 when he embarked on his career. A succession of West Indian and African melodramas followed.
However, New York provided no satisfactory outlet for my ambition, so I set sail for England.
He was fortunate enough to secure top billing for one of his first engagements at the Coburg Theatre, now known as the Old Vic. (1825) saw his debut as Othello. A Hull paper said his Othello was such as can be equalled by very few actors of the present day. The Globe found his enunciation distinct and sonorous. And the Times...
The part of Othello was performed by an individual of Negro origin, as his features sufficiently testify, who calls himself Aldridge. We could not perceive any fitness which Mr. Aldridge possessed for the assumption of one of the finest parts that was ever imagined by Shakespeare, except indeed that he could play it in his own native hue without the aid of lamp-black. His Othello wanted spirit and feeling. His accent is
unpleasantly vulgar and foreign, and my manner generally drawling and unimpressive.
It is, however, our duty to state that Mr. Aldridge was extremely well received.
It was to be another 8 years before he was invited to perform in a major London theatre again.
So I spent the intervening period honing my skills in the provinces.
He developed a repertoire consisting of Othello and abolitionist melodramas about noble suffering slaves and musical farces.
I had acted in more than 40 plays in my first 9 years on the stage, and was a seasoned actor when I returned to London. I was to play Othello at Covent Garden.
He performed the role of Othello for only 2 nights, and again the critics savaged him.
And when, by chance, for chance it is, and not judgment, he rises to a higher strain, we perceive in the transition the elevation of rant, not the fiery dignity of soul-felt passion.
I see my reputation is at stake. My fame is shrewdly gored. So I continued to play the provinces, built up a loyal following.
Aldridge might have been aware of what drew his customers to his performances and allowed his race to become his defining characteristic. Attributed by Aldridge himself was the fairly innocuous pseudonym of Mr. Kean. It was not until Edmund Kean himself collapsed on stage whilst playing the role of Othello, and Aldridge a few weeks later was invited to play the role himself, that he decided to adopt the reincarnation as a native of Senegal.
For at this pivotal point of my career, I had to develop an identity of my own.
In the provinces he played to crowded houses, but was boycotted by the West End stage. He became the victim of a sustained London press campaign motivated by racism and found it difficult to secure engagements, but he never gave up.
Believe me for mine honour, and have respect for mine honour, that you may believe.
In 1852, Aldridge and his family sailed for Europe. When he returned from his European tours, he was bestowed with honours.
I was granted the gracious patronage of King Leopold I of Belgium. Frederick IV of Prussia conferred upon me the Prussian Gold Medal and the first-class singular honour for art and science.
He performed Othello in Russia and was lionised, earning more money than any Russian actor. One Russian critic said that the evenings on which he saw Aldridge's Lear, Shylock, Macbeth and Othello were undoubtedly the best he had ever seen in the theatre. After Aldridge, wrote another, it is impossible to see Othello performed by a white actor, even Garrick himself. He returned so laden with honours that the West End stage could no longer exclude him and deemed him worthy to perform at the Lyceum in 1958, and he received much praise from both critics and audience alike. He died on tour in the Polish town of Lodz on the 17th of August 1867, aged 59. The whole town turned out to mourn the passing of an artist of world stature.
He was famous, sir, in his profession, and it was his great right to be so. Mislike me not for my complexion.